Okay, good afternoon, my dear friends. Now we are going to discuss the remaining part of early experiments. Last but one, Julius Van Sox. So, what about the contributions of Julius Van Sox to understand the mechanism of photosynthesis? So, according to Van Sox, green parts are able to synthesize glucose. That was a statement given by Sox. And that green part, that green part, nowadays we are calling that green part as chlorophyll. And one more statement, glucose is converted into starch. If it is to be stored, okay, so according to Sox, carbohydrates are stored in the form of starch. That was also given, stored in the form of starch. Okay, so there is about statements given by Julius Van Sox. So according to these statements, maximum extent, the idea of Sox was concerned with maximum extent. Of course, overall concerned with photosynthesis, but according to synthesis of glucose, formation of starch, so he focused on dark part, means dark reaction. Okay, so that is about Sox. Next, last one, TW, not last one, sorry, TW Engelmann. Engelmann experiment. Engelmann experiment is very, very important. TW Engelmann. Okay, so what about TW Engelmann? This is a source of light, sunlight. Okay, so particularly out of a total electromagnetic spectrum, take only visible light. Take visible light only here. Visible spectrum. Take visible light. Visible light. Visible light. Okay, so the wavelength of visible light is around 380 nanometers to 750 around. Okay, so generally this wavelength of light is called as photosynthetically active radiation, that is PAR, photosynthetically active radiation. Okay, and this light permitted to pass through prism. Okay, so now light is passing through, visible light is passing through prism. Okay, so now it was divided into spectral components. What are the spectral components that is well known to you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, VIBGYOR with GR, spectral components. Okay, so those are the spectral components of visible light. Okay, so up to here, with the help of physics, we can understand. And remaining part is a biological part. So physical part completed. So what about next one? The test tube. Filled with the water up to here. Okay. Next, what about the plant? Plant used by Engelmann, Cladophora. Cladophora plant. And what about the description for Cladophora plant? Wait, hang on. 1 minute, hang on, please. Hang on, please. Okay, right. So what about the description for Cladophora? So what is Cladophora? They may ask. So Cladophora is description for Cladophora. Cladophora, a chlorophyll member. Okay, green algal member. Green alga. So definitely eukaryote. Okay. And the dominant plant body is gametophyte. And that gametophyte is multicellular, uniserrate, unbranched, filamentous one. Okay, filamentous one with a haplontic type of life cycle. Haplontic life cycle, and meiocyte is zygote. Yeah, good. So that is additional information. And these are the chloroplasts, whatever the type of chloroplast. And next one, very, very important. He introduced a suspension of aerobic bacteria. Bacteria which are able to perform aerobic respiration. Aerobic bacteria. Aerobic bacteria. They are able to perform aerobic respiration. Okay. And the entire experiment was in the area where sunlight is available, according to this one. Okay. Right. And after a certain period of time, what he identified, accumulation of more number of bacteria. So here more number of bacteria. Aerobic bacteria. And here also in this region also, within the water only. Okay. Here also more number of bacteria. Okay, so what about the type of the bacteria? According to textbook, aerobic bacteria, which are able to perform aerobic respiration. Okay, so why they selected and why they occupied, why they reached that area only? In the rest of the area, of course, present, but less number of bacteria. In the rest of the areas, less number of bacteria. Here, more number of bacteria. In the rest of the areas, very less number of bacteria. Okay, so what was the conclusion made by Engelmann? Okay, so more is the number of bacteria means definitely more is the oxygen. So in this area is characterized by. So what about the description for this one? So in that area, more oxygen was present, more oxygen. So why they gathered there? For oxygen. Reason they are aerobic bacteria. More oxygen means more amount of oxygen. More is the O2, definitely more is the rate of photosynthesis. So Cladophora is able to perform oxygenic photosynthesis. So this one is able to perform oxygenic photosynthesis. Oxygenic photosynthesis. Okay, so according to O2 molecules liberated, definitely one can calculate a number of glucose molecules. For example, 6 O2 molecules evolved during oxygenic photosynthesis. What about the number of glucose molecules? 1 glucose molecule. 12 O2 molecules means 12 oxygen molecules means 2 molecules of glucose. Like that, continue it. 18 O2 molecules means definitely 3 molecules of glucose. So on the base of number of O2 molecules evolved, we are able to estimate a number of glucose molecules possible. Okay, so on the base of number of O2 molecules evolved, he proposed, he explained action spectrum. First action spectrum was prepared by Engelmann on the base of number of O2 molecules evolved. What is action spectrum? A graph that shows photosynthetic efficiency of pigments at different wavelengths of light. And here, the parameter on the base of which he calculated number of glucose molecules is number of O2 molecules. Okay, is it clear? So there is about TW Engelmann experiment. Engelmann experiment. Okay. Next one. Take the screenshot. Okay. Now I am erasing the board. So here the question is Priestley, John Ingenhouse, and T.W. Engelmann. All these three members, indirectly, they studied oxygenic photosynthesis. So on the basis of all these discoveries, they prepared empirical, unbalanced, oxygenic photosynthetic equation. So what about empirical? Oxygenic photosynthetic equation, unbalanced one, means on the base of raw materials involved without balancing. So definitely prime raw material is CO2. CO2 and one H2O molecule, light carbohydrate plus oxygen. Okay, unbalanced equation. What about a completely balanced equation? To produce one glucose molecule, 6 CO2. Very, very important thing is 12 H2O molecules and C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2. So this is a balanced equation. Okay. And here, what about the fate of, in this case, what about the fate of 12 H2O molecules? 12 H2O molecules photolyzed. Photolysis of 12 H2O molecules to produce 12 into 2, 24 ATP molecules, 12 into 1, 12 molecules of NADPH, H plus, and 6 O2 molecules. At the end of the introduction part, they asked one question: what about the importance of writing 12 H2O molecules, or what about the fate of 12 H2O molecules, which we are writing in the balanced equation? Okay, so photolysis of 12 H2O molecules means definitely that is a non-cyclic photophosphorylation, non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Okay, the question is, in all plants or in all photoautotropes, the donor of electrons and donor of hydrogen atoms was the H2O. Only H2O is the donor of electrons and hydrogen atoms. Is it only H2O molecules that is able to reduce the C of CO2 into glucose molecule in all photoautotropes? That was the doubt. To clarify that doubt, next experiment. The next experiment belongs to a microbiologist. That is Cornelius Van Nile experiment. Okay, so according to Cornelius Van Nile experiment, what about the description given by Cornelius Van Nile? And before that one, so here, what about the fate of C of CO2? C of CO2 is reduced, so undergoing reduction. So the fate of CO2 is reduction, undergoing reduction. And what about H2O? In 2019 or maybe 18, they asked one question. In oxygenic photosynthesis or photosynthesis, out of CO2 and H2O, which one is undergoing reduction? Or CO2 is undergoing oxidation or reduction? So definitely CO2 is undergoing reduction. And what about H2O undergoing oxidation, photolysis? Okay. So undergoing reduction means this one is oxidant, able to cause oxidation of H2O and able to undergo reduction. So undergoing oxidation means H2O is reductant. Means able to, sorry, 1 minute. Yeah. Reductant means able to cause reduction of CO2. Means undergoing oxidation. This question they ask. Okay. Now what about Cornelius Van Nile contribution? Cornelius Van Nile, a microbiologist, and studied anoxygenic photosynthesis. Studied anoxygenic photosynthesis in purple and green bacteria. So he studied anoxygenic photosynthesis in bacteria, simply prokaryotes. Okay, so except cyanobacteria, generally cyanobacteria are with oxygenic photosynthesis. Out of all monorems, if they question you, oxygenic photosynthesis is very, very important, even though there was no mention about the type of photosynthesis present in cyanobacteria. Definitely they will ask if they focus on that. So there are two types of photosynthetic mechanisms on the base of evolvement of oxygen. All eukaryotic photoautotrophs with oxygenic photosynthesis. And what about prokaryotes? Prokaryotes are with and without oxygenic photosynthesis. Both are present. In prokaryotes, oxygenic photosynthesis and oxygenic photosynthesis. Okay, so best example for prokaryote with oxygenic photosynthesis is cyanobacteria, blue-green algal member. Okay, so in this bacteria, purple-green sulfur bacteria, particularly chlorobium and chromatium. You can take a chlorobium and chromatium. Wait. Chlorobium and chromatium. or chromatium. Okay, so according to his experiment, okay, so instead of H2O, he took an oxidizable compound, that is again your textbook, 2H2A plus one molecule of CO2. So 2H2A instead of H2O, oxidizable means able to undergo oxidation and able to reduce C of CO2 into carbohydrate, means the donor of electrons and protons to reduce C of CO2 into glucose molecule. So here H2O, here instead of H2O, he took 2H2A, oxidizable compound, able to donate electrons, able to donate protons. Okay, so gives rise as it is CH2O carbohydrate plus 2A, okay, and plus H2O. Okay, so here there was no liberation of oxygen, no oxygen evolved, no oxygen evolved. Instead of oxygen, oxidation product of H2A was 2A. Okay, so according to Cornelius van Nijn, in bacteria, the type of photosynthesis is anoxygenic. And moreover, one more statement he gave, O2 was evolved from, here O2 was evolved. In oxygenic photosynthesis, O2 was evolved from, this is coming from H2O only, not from the CO2. So in the case of oxygenic photosynthesis, O2 was evolved from H2O, not from the CO2. Okay, so what was the evidence in the support of the statement? Here, CO2 present, but there was no H2O. Even in the absence of H2, in the absence of, even in the presence of CO2, even in the presence of CO2, there was no evolution of oxygen. Here, what are the main inorganic nutrients or chemical components which are raw materials, which are involved in the formation of glucose? CO2 and H2O. Light is a physical factor. So what is the difference between these two reactions regarding type of the reactant? CO2, CO2 common, here H2O, here H2A, but not as H2O molecule. Even though CO2 was present, there was no evolution of oxygen. Simply, oxygen was coming from H2O only, not from the CO2. Okay, so he proposed, he explained that in oxygenic photosynthesis, O2 is coming from H2O only, not from the CO2. Later, it was demonstrated with the help of O18 in the form of H2O18. So that is O18. O18 is radioactive isotope. With the help of autoradiography technique, one type of radiology consent technique. So they traced out O18 with the help of autoradiography technique. That is one type of technique. With the help of that, we can trace out radioactive isotopes. Okay, actually, Rubin and Kaman, not given in your textbook. Okay, so according to the statement given by Nile, Nile gave that only one statement. O2 is coming from H2O, not from the CO2. Who demonstrated actually? The demonstration was given by Rubin and Kaman with the help of O18, what they did in their experiment. So 6CO2 as it is plus 12H2O, but oxygen was labeled with the radioactive isotope. Remaining glucose molecule plus 6H2O plus 6O2. Okay, so only this oxygen is with 18 radioactive isotope. Okay, so here H2 also having oxygen, and that oxygen is coming from CO2. Okay, and this oxygen is coming from H2O according to radiology department. Okay, so if 12 H2O molecules are photolyzed, 12 H2O gives rise 24 electrons, 24 H plus protons, plus how many oxygen molecules are 12 half O2s are 12 half 12 half O2 atoms, oxygen atoms are 6 O2 molecules. Okay, so if they question you in oxygenic photosynthesis, what about the source of oxygen present in H2O? Definitely go for CO2. And the O2, this O2 is coming from H2O molecule. Okay, and on the base of this equation, we can prepare an oxygenic complete balanced equation for an oxygenic photosynthesis also. What is that one? See, 12 molecules of H2S. Okay, so in an oxygenic photosynthesis, hydrogen sulfide, H2S is well known to you. Hydrogen sulfide plus 6 CO2 gives rise 1 glucose molecule, and the oxidation product of that one H2S is 12 molecules of sulfur or sulfate. Okay, plus 6H2O. Instead of 12 atoms of O2, 12 molecules of 12 sulfur. Hello, please mute. 12 sulfur atoms produced. Okay, is it clear? 1 minute, hang on. Please mute. Please mute. Please mute. Please mute. 1 minute, hang on, please. Hang on. Hang on. Okay, take the screenshot, please. Okay. Right. Now I am going to erase the board. Okay. Right. Yes, yes. Thank you. Okay. So the next one is, what about the place of photosynthesis? Okay, so that is definitely chloroplast. Hello, please mute. Please mute. Please mute. Okay. So plants and other organisms are able to perform photosynthesis in the area where green colored pigment is present generally. That is our opinion. Not only that green part means the area or part where chlorophyll A, B, carotenoids, xanthophyll present is able to perform photosynthesis. So what are the green areas? Green areas where photosynthesis is possible. Green areas where photosynthesis is possible. So maximum photosynthesis out of an angiospermic plant, maximum rate of photosynthesis, maximum contribution is definitely leaf, from leaves. And the question, what was the question? What are the other areas where photosynthesis is possible? What are the examples? Leaf is one example that you can answer. What are the other areas? Youngest parts. Youngest parts. What are they? Youngest cotyledon. What about the color of youngest cotyledon? Generally, if the cotyledon is inside the seed, that is white in color. Once that cotyledon is exposed to light, okay, what about the color of that one? Definitely green color. So youngest embryonic leaves. Embryonic leaves. You can write embryonic leaves. Hang on. Sweating. Embryonic leaves. What are the embryonic leaves? This question was given. What are the other areas? It was clearly they asked. Embryonic leaves. What are the embryonic leaves? We can write cotyledons. Yes, they are able to perform photosynthesis. Immediately after germination of seed into seedling, the first leaf, first pair of leaves, definitely cotyledons. Okay, next, what are the other areas? Epidermis. Epidermal cells of young parts, whatever it is, except root. Young aerial parts, definitely able to perform photosynthesis. Okay. I'll give you more number of examples. Wait, hang on. Next one. Youngest fruits. What about the color of youngest fruit? Generally, mango. Green in color or not? Able to perform photosynthesis. How much amount is different? Overall possible or not? So youngest fruits. Mango. Tomato. Yes, they are having chloroplast, able to perform photosynthesis. Next. Green colored roots. Means photosynthetic roots. You can take cotyledons, stomata, guard cells also. Guard cells also. Okay. So these are the examples of areas where photosynthesis is possible. Okay. Please mute. Hey, please mute. Please mute. Hello. Please don't disturb me, please.
అప్పా ఇయర్ ఫోన్స్ మనకి వినబడతాయి కదా.
Please mute. Please mute.
Okay, okay.
Right, good. Thank you. Okay, so we can say, we can use all these examples. For that question, what are the areas where photosynthesis is possible? These are the areas. And the structure of chloroplast is well known to you. Instead of outer membrane, inner membrane, thylakoids, I will give you important areas of chloroplast. Okay, take the screenshot of this one. Okay, right? Now I'm erasing the board. Morphologically, different kinds of chloroplasts are present. But in our textbook, here they explained ellipsoidal, the structure of ellipsoidal chloroplast. So here, the structure of chloroplast is well known to you. I will explain you chloroplast in a different way. See it. Instead of reading, studying chloroplast like 8th class and 9th class knowledge. Please stop it. Please. Hello. Stop or take exit. Stop or take exit, please. Don't disturb me, please. Outer membrane. Chemically, what about outer membrane? So chloroplast is with the envelope. That envelope is with the outer membrane, and this one is inner membrane. So these dialogues are well known to you. Membrane. So these two are collectively called as envelope. So chemically, envelope is lipoproteinaceous without pigments. And carbohydrates, polysaccharides may be present. Some extent, trace amount one, but definitely no pigment. Pigments are completely absent. And this part is a stroma part, and this is a intermembrane space or periplastidial space, you can say. Genetic material is a DNA, RNA present, 70S ribosome. Okay, so towards one corner, it was given like this, a chain of ribosomes. This is very, very important. Just ribosome given, ribosome. If you observe that one clearly, chain of ribosomes. Okay, so chain of ribosome means here it is a polysome. Polyribosome. Okay, so DNA present as usual, DNA present, DNA and RNA molecules. Of course, this was not explained here, but if you go to molecular base of inheritance under the heading complexity is present during transcription. First complexity, number of kinds of RNA polymerase involved, DNA dependent RNA polymerase involved. In cell organelles like chloroplast and mitochondria only, one RNA polymerase is able to transcribe tRNA, mRNA, ribosomal RNA. Okay, so along with DNA, 3 types of RNA molecules mandate to synthesize proteins. So genetic material is a DNA molecule. And this DNA depends on 3 types of RNA molecules. Okay, for transcription and translation. So if they question you, what about the number of kinds of DNA-dependent RNA polymerase required in the transcription of both the chloroplast and mitochondria? If they question you, go for one kind. Link that knowledge with molecular base of enzymes. Okay. So what is the type of genetic material present in chloroplast and mitochondria? DNA. Okay. And how many kinds of RNA molecules are possible in chloroplast and mitochondria? Definitely three kinds required: mRNA, tRNA, ribosomal RNA. So ribosome is what type of ribosome? 70S ribosome. Smaller one. What are the subunits? Use your knowledge. Subunits. What are the subunits present in ribosomal subunits present in chloroplast? Definitely 30S and 50S. Use this knowledge. Okay, right? Now, stroma part. So there is a clear-cut division of labor to perform photosynthesis. We divide photosynthesis into light reaction and dark reaction. Okay, so here internally, what about the membranes? These membranes are very, very important. Those membranes are well known to you. And here, instead of thylakoids, sac-like structures, I will explain you in a different way. So here I'm taking a set of thylakoids. Like that, many are there. Remaining, you draw it, please. So these are the thylakoids. So these thylakoids are tubular extensions, thylakoids. So thylakoids, what about thylakoid? Okay, so thylakoid is flattened, flat, tubular pigmented membranes. Tubular pigmented lipoproteinaceous membranes. Flat, tube, flat. Internally, lumen is present. So tubular means definitely lumen is present. Lumen present, tubular, flat tubes. So kinds well known to you. Granum thylakoids, stroma thylakoids. Stacked thylakoids, unstacked thylakoids. That is well known to you. Okay, right? So thylakoids are concerned with the first one, that is light reaction. During light reaction, these pigments are able to convert radiant energy into chemical energy. That is the first phase, light dependent phase. So this light reaction involves electron transport system, ETS. So we have to study ETS with two mechanisms or two types of ETS. One is non-cyclic electron transport system, and second one is cyclic electron transport system. Okay, so thylakoids are concerned with within the, what about the given statement? Thylakoids, what are the thylakoids? Membranes with pigments. Pigments means definitely they are able to perform light reaction. So light harvesting systems are located within the thylakoids, within the thylakoid membrane, not within the lumen. Okay, so we'll study this one, that is a mechanism of light reaction after completion of types of pigments, what are the pigments, and what about the paper chromatography technique, and what about action spectrum, absorption spectrum. After completion of that one, we should go to mechanism of photosynthesis with the help of light reaction and dark reaction. Okay, so during light reaction, radiant energy, sunlight, light is converted into chemical energy. That chemical energy is well known to you. Okay, so what about that chemical energy? ATP and NADPH H plus. Okay, so those are the main products of light reaction. These two, also called as assimilatory power, or reducing power. Reducing power. With the help of this energy only, during dark reaction, C of CO2 is reduced into glucose molecule. Okay, so as ATP and NADPH plus are concerned with reduction of C of CO2 into carbohydrate, they are called as assimilatory power, reducing power. Assimilation means carbon assimilation. What is carbon assimilation? What is carbon assimilation? What do you mean by carbon assimilation? Carbon assimilation. Carbon assimilation means conversion of CO2 into glucose. Glucose assimilated or not? Simply synthesis of glucose molecule. Carbon assimilation. And is the name assimilatory power. What about the fate of CO2 during assimilation? Reduced. And the name reducing power. Okay. Assimilation means synthesis of glucose molecule. Assimilatory power. Reducing power, able to reduce C of CO2 into carbohydrate. Reducing power. Okay, so this compartment means the thylakoid compartment is concerned with light reaction. And what about the stroma compartment? A number of enzymes are present. Second one, dark reaction. That takes place in stroma. So here membranes are not required. Okay, so this dark reaction depends on end product of light reaction. What is the end product? Main one, assimilatory power, chemical energy. With the help of chemical energy, C of CO2 is reduced into carbohydrate during dark reaction. Okay, so we should not consider the dark reaction, the given statement. We should not construe to mean that the dark reaction is taking place in dark phase. Dark reaction taking place in dark phase. Wrong one. Okay, dark reaction is independent of light. Wrong one. Wrong statement. As dark reaction is independent of light and taking place in dark phase during a non-availability of light reaction, is it this one is called as dark reaction? That is the wrong one. To understand, to divide photosynthetic mechanism into light phase and dark phase, we divide that one into light and dark only. This dark phase is dependent on end product of light. Directly depends on end product of light. What is the main end product of light on which the dark reaction is directly dependent? ATP and NADPH plus. So here, dark reaction indirectly depends on light. Directly depends on end products of light. Indirectly on light. Directly on chemical energy. Okay, so light reaction, a dark reaction is possible during both a light phase, during availability of light, in the absence of light, if ATP and NADPH plus are available. See, if ATP and NADPH plus are available, dark reaction is always possible. So dark reaction directly depends on end product of light reaction. Okay, so dark reaction as it is taking place during dark phase in the absence of light, it is called as dark reaction, is a wrong statement. Okay, so here dark reaction is not directly dependent on light, indirectly dependent, even without light possible, but definite thing, compulsory mandatory thing is end product of light, that is ATP and NADPH plus required. Okay, right? So dark reaction means reduction of C of CO2 into carbohydrate takes place within the stroma if ATP and NADPH plus available even without light. Reason they are indirectly depends on light, not directly. Is it clear? Okay, right. Next. So that is about chloroplast, outer membrane, inner membrane. Here, how many kinds of membranes are clearly visible to you? Enveloped with the outer membrane, inner membrane, lipoproteinaceous membranes. And these membranes are not tubular, not flattened, and without pigments. But what about the thylakoids? Thylakoids are tubular, flattened, lumen is present. Okay, pigmented membranes. Pigmented membranes are thylakoids. Okay, right? Is it clear? So that is about chloroplast. And tomorrow we will discuss how many kinds of pigments are present in, for example, isolation of pigments. Actually, next one is isolation of pigments by paper chromatographic technique. And what are the pigments present in that green part? How many kinds are there? Chlorophyll A, B, carotenoids, xanthophylls given. And after that, what about absorption spectrum, action spectrum? Okay, is it clear? We'll discuss that one tomorrow. Okay, any objection? Is it clear?